I have not read a single page of the Epstein's file, not one, and I never will. Not because I don't care, but because I cannot re-traumatize myself to satisfy the public's curiosity. Millions of pages are out there exposing survivors' pain, but truth without justice is not justice, and exposure without accountability hurts the very people who are already suffered. So I know they exist. I know the public is consuming millions of pages right now. I know men, women, girls who have been harmed. I know the survivors who are still alive will carry that pain for the rest of their lives. And I know some people did not survive it at all. And none of that is lost on me, but I'm not reading it, not out of ignorance, but out of self-protection. As a survivor of sexual abuse, manipulation, and assault, this kind of content is deeply triggering for me. I already had like a spiral week with my psychiatrist. I cried. My body was remembering things I did not want to bring it back into my present again. So the few things that I have seen while scrolling already affected me. I scroll as fast as I can. I don't want the details. I know harm was done. I know cruelty was done. And that is sufficient enough for me. What I'm struggling with is this, right? What is the point of releasing millions of pages to the public if there's no swift and real justice? If they're not going to be executed on the spot? What is the use of this mass exposure if the people who did it are not being held accountable in a real way? So from my perspective as a survivor, watching trauma become public content without real consequences is just cruelty at that. It feels like pain is being turned into something to consume. It feels like survivors are being asked to relive their worst moments so the public can be informed, outraged, shocked, and then just move on. Survivors do not need to heal from, documents being dumped on them. They don't heal from viral cycles. Survivors do not heal for people dissecting their trauma online. What we heal is from safety. We heal from perpetrators being held accountable. Justice that actually moves. A system changes so that this doesn't keep happening again and again. We, from long-term care, therapy, community, protection, psychiatrists, all of that stuff. Okay? And now I want to be clear. I'm speaking from my own lived experience. I know survivors, cope differently, and that is valid, right? This is simply what I would prefer for my healing, and generally that's what we need from healing. So I believe in the truth. I believe in exposure that matters. I believe darkness should always be brought to light. But truth without justice is not justice. Exposure without consequences is not healing. Awareness without protection re-traumatizes the people who are already violated. So I don't have the stomach to consume this. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to read violence done to bodies that look like mine at a young tender age, So children who did not consent. If you are a survivor and this is triggering you, you're not weak for avoiding it. You are wise for protecting your own nervous system. You don't owe anyone your pain.